Okay, here we are, section 5.4, US and metric equivalents. And here we are, we're going to convert between US and metric units of temperature, length, area, capacity, and weight and mass. Okay, so let's look at some definitions here. Okay, the US customary measure in degrees is Fahrenheit, but the metric is Celsius. So the two scales are going to be shown below, okay, and then I'll kind of show you the conversions. Okay, so here we are. So notice that your average, like what they're saying, like in Fahrenheit, you know, water will freeze at 32, it boils at 212, whereas in metric, as you can tell, which is Celsius, it's going to freeze at 0 and it boils at 100. So it is conceivably just a little bit easier to understand. So let's come over here. Obviously there it is. Notice this is at sea level, so if you ever try to like boil water, and if you're like way high up, like if you ever gone hiking way high up, it does take a little bit, it is a little bit different whenever you're boiling water, just a little bit. It's usually not even something you can really tell. And then here is our formulas right here, which I'm going to show some examples of these as we kind of get started, kind of just letting the PowerPoints do the examples for me right now, because as you can kind of tell from all these lessons is once you're given the chart, it's literally just the process of moving back and forth from the chart and making sure that whatever unit you're trying to get to is in the top. So but these are formulas, okay, and on your test I'll be giving you these. So notice if you're looking for if you were looking for Celsius, you would actually use this one because you're going to go from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Here, if you're looking for Celsius, then you would put the Fahrenheit in here and it would kick you out of Fahrenheit. So let's look at one. Okay, let's convert the Fahrenheit of 86 degrees to its equivalent measure in Celsius. So notice what they do is they take this 86 here, okay, and they're plugging it in. Notice then right here, once you do all the math, remembering your order of operations, do the parentheses first, you're going to get this 54, multiply it by 5, okay, and then they divide it, so you get 30. And so thus 86 degrees is the equivalent is 30 degrees Celsius, and it might help you a little bit, like finding those little common, like, average temperatures, like knowing that around 90 degrees it's going to be about 30 something degrees Celsius, so that way if you see something that says 30 degrees Celsius, you kind of have a rough idea of what the temperature is going to be. So let's look at another one here. Okay, we're going to convert 35 degrees Celsius to its equivalent measure in degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're going to do, let me grab my pen out here. Let's take this 35 and let's put it into the formula here. So we're going to have F equals 9 times, well here we're going to have 35 all over 5 plus 32. So let me get my calculator out here, and we're going to get 9 times 35. Okay, so I'll come down here, and that's going to give me 315 all divided by 5 plus 32. And so we're going to divide this by 5, and then I'll go ahead and add my 32. So what this tells me is in Fahrenheit, okay, so in Celsius, notice that we have 35 degrees Celsius. But for Fahrenheit, okay, we're going to get 95 degrees in Fahrenheit. So I'll put the F, just like that. So that way we know 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Actually, I probably did that wrong, actually. Don't write degrees very often, as you can tell. Move this over because that's the degree symbol. Let's do it correct. 35 degrees Fahrenheit. So going to the next slide here, notice we're just going to have some equivalents, okay? So you can see here that 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. That's exact, okay? 1 foot here, that's going to be probably an estimate. Here, estimates. Notice that's the only exact one. Okay, just once again, it's just going to be whenever you're doing your homework or whatever, it's going to be pulling up these equivalencies and putting it into your formula. So let's look at some examples here. I've got 6 inches equals how many centimeters? So let's kind of come in here. Let's get a pen out. Okay, so I've got 6. Hold on here. 6 inches. I'm going to put that over 1 times. Well, I'm going to get rid of the inches, remember. So I want to put 1 inch. Well, how many centimeters is that? And if I go back up to my deal, it's going to be 2.54 centimeters. Notice once again that the inches will go away, and whenever we do the math to that, we're going to get 15.24 centimeters. Okay, well that's how we do one, and let's do one more here. We'll do B. How's that sound? I'm going to mark that as A. We're not going to do all these, but we'll just kind of give you some examples here. So I've got 25 miles. Okay, I'm going to put that over 1, because remember, I like to see things as fractions. I like to see everything as fractions. Well, 1 mile is how many kilometers? Well, 1 mile is 1.61 kilometers. Notice my miles are going to cancel out. I can do the math to that, and whenever I do, I'm going to get 40.25 kilometers. And notice all I'm doing is, let me kind of scroll up here. All I'm doing is coming back up here, and I'm using different sort of conversions up here. And then just remember that, notice here, since I want to end in centimeters, I want to make sure my centimeters is in my denominator. And since I'm going to be moving away from inches, I want to make sure my inches ends up in my denominator as I kind of work through, so they cancel each other out. So let's look at another one here. So we've got another little metric one to look at here. We've got area equivalencies. Okay, so let's do some examples on this one and see how they look. Okay, so I've got 40 yards squared. And what will that turn into meters squared? Well, let's go and write that one out. Come in here. I have 40 yards squared. I'm going to put that over 1. Okay, well, looking back up, and this one I'll go ahead and pull back up the old one here. Let's find the yard squared. Notice yard squared, what are we converting into? We're converting into meters squared. Well, notice 1 yard squared equals 0.836. Okay, well, let's come down here. Since I want to get rid of the yards, let me come back and get my pen. I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to put the 1 yard is equal to 0.836 meters squared. That is going to cancel out my yards squared, and whenever I do the multiplication to that, I end up getting roughly, and I didn't kind of do that, I get my 33.44 meters squared. Well, let's look at another one here. How about this one here? Let's do this one right here. Let's do this 5 hectaacres. I'm probably saying that wrong because of my horrible pronunciation. I've got 5 HA over 1. Well, I'm going to multiply that and figure out that 1 HA, well, how much is 1 HA? Let's go back up here and look. Well, 1 HA is equal to 2.47. So let's come back over here. And we're going to put 2.47 acres. Once again, I will cross out my hectaacres, do the multiplication to this, and we're going to get 12.35 acres. And that's exactly how you're just going to kind of keep doing these over and over again. Notice this has not changed this whole lesson except for maybe 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, 5.4. It's literally go in, try to find whatever you're looking for, and just kind of keep moving along. So let's look at a couple more here. We've got volume. Okay, once again, I've got a whole bunch of different types of volume over here in the US. I've got inches cubed, feet cubed, quarts, gallons. I've got liters to gallons, liters to quarts, meters cubed to feet cubed. So let's see what we got here. Let's just do one of these. Let's do this 42 liters to gallons, and then let's see how that one looks out. Okay, so let me get my pen out here. So we got this 42 liters, big L, over 1. Well, how about gallons now? Let's go to the gallons. Whenever I do this, I'm going to multiply this. Well, 1 liter, okay, 1 L is going to equal, let's look up here, how much is a liter? Well, a liter is 0.264 gallons. Okay, so 0.264 gallons. Once again, just like before, everything crosses out, and then we're going to end up getting, let's do this on my calculator, 11.09 gallons. don't forget right there either. Don't forget to put in your units, because if you don't put in your units, you're literally just doing a number, and that's not what we're doing here. We need to know exactly what we're working in, exactly what units we're in, because other than that, how am I supposed to know what you're trying to give me? So let's do one more here. We've got one more set of units here. We got mass. Okay, remember as I said in class, mass is a amount of stuff inside something. Okay. Weight is just how much the earth is pulling on you, but for our purposes, weight and mass are going to be equal. Okay, so let's do this one right here. Let's do the let's do pounds to kilograms. So let's come in here, and we have, let's do A, we got 5 pounds, okay, over 1. Well, 1 pound is equal to how many kilograms? Well, if you go look back on your deal, it comes out to 0.454 kilograms. My pounds go away, and whenever I do the math to this, I get 2.27 kilograms. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do this ounces right here. Let's do 35 ounces over 1. Okay, times, well, notice I'm going to need ounces, so 1 ounce, okay, is equal to 28.35 grams. This can go away, most of my ounces go away, and then I end up with, let me do this on the calculator, and I get 992.25 grams. Don't forget the units. And that's basically how everything is done whenever you're doing conversions. It's a little bit easier when they're formulaic. Don't forget, like especially from 5.2 and 5.3, it's just going to take practice, okay? Because they look weird, you're not used to it. So, but practice and everything will work out just fine.